Happy Father's Day, everyone. This is a special day, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're a father.
Whether you're a father or you have ever had a father.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my father. I was very blessed to have a really, really wonderful father. My father cared for me so deeply. He loved me so much. I wish that he were different in a way, because he didn't really appreciate my emotions or my sensitivity. I think he just didn't understand me, actually. But I know that he loved me, and I know that he cared for me, and he was convinced I would be a really good math teacher. That's what he thought I should do with my life. I think it's funny, actually, considering what I'm doing right now.
But Joyce, you really still love math. You're always like doing problems.
I do.
Math problems.
I like to do math in my head, figure out little things, but
a math teacher,
But yeah, so anything else, like what we're doing, he really had a hard time understanding it, and he didn't really talk to me about emotional things, but he helped me with my homework. I mean, I did really, really well in math and science because my dad sat with me every night, helping me with every problem and making sure that I understood. So as I grew and I married Barry and we started having children and we moved to California, my parents would come and visit from Buffalo, New York, which is where they live for most of their lives. And my dad was just like the best grandfather. He played and the kids just absolutely loved him. But we didn't have much time together. So every visit, my dad and I would go to this little diner, a place I would never go to, ever. But he liked it. He liked that kind of thing. He grew up in the city. And so he liked to go to this diner, and he'd order a cup of coffee. I'd order some herbal tea if they had it. Or actually, I'd bring my own herbal tea. And we'd order a piece of pie. And he just loved this. And my dad had two favorite topics of conversation when I was in my 30s at this point. The first topic was, why doesn't Barry make more money? He's a doctor. Why doesn't he make more money? Why are you doing the work that you're doing? Barry could be making so much money. You could have a really nice house. And I didn't like this subject at all. I did not like it. And I'm really good at changing the subject. So I would change the subject. So his second favorite topic was, he liked to tell me about house repairs that he was either in process or things that he was doing or planned to do in his house in Buffalo. My parents lived in a kind of a lower middle class neighborhood, very humble house. But when you'd step into their house, it was like, wow. I mean, he did so many things. He was always perfecting it. So we'd love to talk about these. And that didn't trigger me like the wanting Barry to make more money. That would trigger me. So what I would do, my routine is, I'd talk to him. I mean, I would say, what are you doing? What are the house repairs? Loved that subject. And he would go on in quite detail the different tiles he was going to use, how, the whole thing. And at the time, I really honestly wasn't interested in any of that. But I would sit and listen, just listen and look into his eyes and feel who my dad is. And feel and make this heart connection with my dad. All the while, I mean, I was serious, I was listening, but I also was doing something else. And I like to call it listening plus, because the plus part is what was so beautiful. And at the end of our little time, after we finished our in the beverage, he'd look at me and he'd say, you and I really know how to have a good time. And it was true. There was such a beautiful feeling. I felt so much love in my heart for my dad during those times because I concentrated on it. So if you're blessed that your father is still alive and you can see him today, just express your love. And if your father's not open to that kind of conversation, then just look at him and allow yourself to really, really feel your love for him. And if your father is not alive, take some time and feel the good qualities of your father. So just one other thing. I have a friend, and we used to work together doing women's retreats, and she would do the music. And I would always challenge the women to find something about their fathers that they really loved. And this woman said, there is nothing about my father. And she had so many reasons. Her father was an alcoholic and abandoned the family and was abusive. Big reasons. I said, but there's got to be something. And you have to find something. Because when you find something, it opens the door to your heart. She took it really seriously. And because she lived near the beach, the ocean, her father would take her down to the ocean and take her out into the water. And when the waves would come, she was scared, and he would lift her up. And she wrote a song about it. And that opened her so much, because she realized that in those moments when her father was lifting her up, it's like the spirit of the Heavenly Father comes through. And that's our challenge to all of you. Some of you have very difficult memories of your dad, and it was really probably more so people have difficult memories. But if you can remember even one thing and allow that one thing to grow within you, you will see how there were moments when the Heavenly Father, the Divine Father, was able to come through your earthly father and really bless you. And I'm telling you, this will change your life in the most positive way when you do this. It will change your life. So it's a powerful day, Father's Day. And I feel very blessed because I married the most wonderful man, and he was just the best. He still is the best father to our 3 children.
And Joyce, I really love your emotional nature.
Thank you.
And your sensitivity. Really, I really do, because that your depth of sensitivity has really blessed me deeply.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And you're glad I'm not a math teacher.
It's hard for me to see that, really. You are good at math, though.
And to all who are math teachers, it's a very noble profession. Really, I admire you. Okay.
So, this is it's a really important day to not just to honor your fathers or the father part of you, but really the highest is to acknowledge that there is a higher father, a divine father, a heavenly father, a father you can't see, a father who is just, it's the energy, right? The energy of fathering that is divine. Whatever you call it, God, Heavenly Father, Great Spirit, it's that source of incredible protection and guidance and love that is fathering. And, Joyce, you were talking about, how some people have difficult times with their father. I had a difficult time with my father. And what has helped me the most is what Joyce just shared, is, seeing the good qualities that they're there in every father. And for my dad, one of the things I actually right now, looking back, loved the most, even though I had sometimes a really hard time, was what a character my dad was. He was so his own person, and he really didn't care what other people thought about him, and that was a really beautiful thing. I mean, he would do outrageous things. He'd be standing in line at the supermarket, and he'd look behind him at the person behind him. What was in, like, there maybe a woman with a shopping cart, and he'd say, "What are you going to do with that asparagus?" And she'd be a little embarrassed, but she'd tell him something, and then he'd say, "No, I have something much better for you to do with that asparagus." And he'd go on and on and on, and she'd be timidly listening, but he was just his character, and guess what? I'm a character too. So, bottom line, I got something really. I mean, I love that about myself too.
I sure would think. Barry's dad was a real character, and the first time I met him, I was 18 years old. I was very shy and raised to be really polite to older, people who were older than me. This is Barry's dad, and I remember so clearly. I was in their living room, and he came down the stairs, and most people like, "Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? What are you studying in college? You have siblings?" Those kind of typical questions. He looked at me quite forcefully, actually, and he said, "Do you know how to make tuna salad?" And I'm like, "Well," this was before we became vegetarian. It's just we became vegetarian a few years after, but
maybe because of this.
I said, "Well, my mother's an excellent cook. Yes, I do know how to make it." And he said, "You don't know how to make it. You don't know how to make it like I know how to make it." And for the next half hour, he instructed me how to make tuna salad, including how to chop the celery. And I'm looking at Barry like, "Barry, I don't know what's going on. I feel so uncomfortable." But Barry's just like, "Well, that's my dad,
He was probably nervous to meet you.
Yes, we talked about tuna fish salad.
So it's
tuna salad.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. But, I wanted to say one other thing, that some people really do not have fathers, and they don't know their biological father. But fathering has come in a way through another person, and that's what you need to open up to.
Yeah. It's true. I spent a lot of time collecting really good fathers, in older men who I could see as more role models, and it was important to me too. Teachers, spiritual teachers. All right, so I want to share a song I've not sung before on any of these videos, because really it's a love song to Joyce. But we just got back. We spent 3 nights floating on the Trinity River in Northern California, and camping along the way. And some of you know I love rivers and being on the river and floating down the river and camping. But even more, I love when Joyce comes with me, because it's like having my cake and eating it too. It's kind of a weird expression, but anyway, you know what I mean. It's having the best of both, being in nature and being with my beloved. Okay, so this is a song I wrote about the river and my beloved.
It's Father's Day.
And Father's
So you get to sing whatever you want.
Yes. river is roaring and my heart is soaring, 'cause I'm here in nature with you. I'm here in nature with you. I'm here in nature with you. The campfire is warming and your voice so soothing, close to the earth with you, close to the earth with you, close to the earth with you. This river of life is ever new, as I discover more ways to cherish you. This river of life is ever new, as I discover more ways to cherish you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. River keeps flowing and my heart keeps knowing that I'm in the right place with you, wherever it is. I'm in the right place with you. I'm in the right place with you. With you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. So remember, of course, it's beautiful to be out on the water and out in nature and sitting by a campfire with your beloved. But today, remember your Heavenly Father. Remember you have a Divine Father. That really every moment you're loved. If you could just be with that, even for a moment today, that you're really loved by the greatest Father in the universe. All right?
So on this Father's Day, make it special and allow those beautiful feelings to come into your heart and focus your thinking on the most positive. All right. I hope you have a beautiful day.
Yeah. God bless you.